Colonel Leighton, Beth just talked about the symbolism here. There's also some new military assistance, but as far as we know, it does not include the item at the top of Ukraine's wish list right now, which is fighter jets. Should the U.S. be sending Ukraine fighter jets?
Yeah, John, at this point, I think we should, but we should have had the planning in progress for doing something like this for many months now. Ideally, we would have done it about 2 months into this war when we realized that the Ukrainians were going to stand fast and they're going to hold territory and then regain territory. Since we haven't done that, now is as good a time as any to catch up and to provide the training that Ukrainian pilots will need. So the short answer is yes to planes like the F-16 and also yes to longer range missiles.
So, Beth, we were just talking about the military bloggers inside Russia criticizing Russia for allowing, for lack of a better word, this trip to happen. You were talking about Putin's speech tomorrow also. How do you think all of this might affect Putin's speech?
Well, I think he's going through his speech right now, or overnight with a red pen, and he's going to make all that language even tougher, even more about this being a fight, an existential fight between Russia and the U.S. And I also expect that there's a high potential that we'll see another kind of missile barrage attacking Kyiv because these folks on his right flank, on Putin's right flank, are really upset. It was all over the Russian TV today, pictures of Biden and Zelensky hugging and walking around. It's infuriating them. And I think Putin has to show that he is a tough guy.
You know, Colonel, to that point, I was in Lviv in Ukraine last March when President Biden was speaking over the border in Poland, and Russia conducted airstrikes right before President Biden was set to speak. And you had the sense they did it so that all the cameras that we were using could see their airstrikes. How concerned should the U.S., should Ukraine be that this visit might prompt more Russian aggression?
Well, I think they should be quite concerned. I think it's really very likely, as Beth mentioned, that they will start to do something like this. They have a tendency to be very symbolic in their actions, and their military actions tend to be more symbolically oriented, anyways, than ours do. So it becomes, I think, a clear need and a clear imperative for the Ukrainians to be prepared for something like this, and to also prepare their population that the attacks on the infrastructure and other military installations will continue at this point, and they'll probably get fairly bad.
You know, in terms of international security, one crucial meeting, Beth, today was Joe Biden and Vladimir Zelensky. But inside Russia, China's top diplomat landed right about the same time and is meeting with Russian officials. And this comes as Anthony Blinken says that the U.S. is nervous, scared, or concerned, raised concerns, I should say, that China will provide lethal military aid to Russia. How much of a concern should that be? And what would that do to U.S.-China relations?
Well, U.S. China relations are at a 40-year low already. I think that, right now, the effort by both sides coming out of Bali was to try to, as the Biden administration says, put guardrails on and basically keep the wheels from falling off the bus. And I think that that would be just devastating. But, this is a really another bold move by the Biden administration to use intelligence, not just keep it hidden, but to use it in order to constrain the actions of our adversaries. They did it effectively against Russia. And now I think this will be effective against China. I mean, what China's trying to do is have its cake and eat it too. They're trying to square the circle of all these different things that they're trying to accomplish. But this lays bare their efforts.
All right, Beth Sander, Colonel Cedric Leighton, thank you both very much.